Hey everyone, welcome back to Learning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. I know eagerly you guys were waiting for this video, and finally here it is. Most important SQL topics for the interviews. And guys, I have curated this list of important topics based on my experience, what I have worked so far, what I have used so far, and in different tech giants, different companies, different product based companies, like questions were around these kind of topics. So that's how I have curated this list, and I can guarantee one thing for sure, that if you'll be able to complete this list of topic and are able to solve some questions around it, definitely you will feel so confident in SQL. And this is specifically I'm saying for the data engineers, if you are preparing for the data engineering interviews, and apart from that, if you are a business analyst, data analyst preparing for data science interview, machine learning interview, and like in your software engineering interviews, if they are trying to ask some SQL questions, I don't think so any of the question will be out of these topics. So that's why this list is quite important. So make sure to watch this complete video, and also like this video so that it can reach to maximum number of people. And if you like this list, if you like this SQL topic, then do let me know in the comment section. Like you can comment anything you want, crispy list, very well curated, if you find it useful, like whatever you want to comment. And also put your suggestion if you think something is missing or something can be added into this list. And also if you want a more detailed list of topics, like within the topic some number of subtopics and something like that, then also do let me know in the comment section. So if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe and press the notification icon, because I have planned some super cool videos in coming months, so stay tuned for that. And guys, I have a very interesting thing to share, because I used to get one doubt or one question quite often from the data professional, the freshers, working professional, or the professionals who are trying to switch into the big data related roles, that how to get the practical understanding, how to work on some really unique use cases which are related to the real world problem use cases, how to create those projects and get more understanding about the big data, its tool, tech stack and frameworks. So I am going to introduce this amazing platform named as Project Pro, and this is the only platform right now available who is providing solved end-to-end data science and big data projects. It should be a go-to platform for you if you are someone who want to become a big data professional for any profile and facing this difficulty to get some practical knowledge, practical understanding, right? So they have created these projects like from scratch, complete solved end-to-end solution, reusable code and proper documentation. And the best part is that these projects are created by the top engineers working in top tech giants like Uber, Netflix, Amazon and many big brands. So big data projects, data science related projects, so this is something which is realistic, right? Not a very hello world kind of program just to give you a feel about a specific tool, tech stack. No, complete real world solution. You can even see what kind of projects are available in this big data project category and data science project category. These real world projects will definitely improve your development skills in this big data world. So I would definitely recommend just use this platform. Link is in the description. And even working on this project is quite easy. Just click on any of the project. You will see the important details of the project and you can click on the start project. And the good part is that for any of the project which is completely end-to-end solved, you will find the reusable codes, documentation, guided videos for the implementation, how it is implemented, any blockers, right? So this is the best part here. And also this platform provides the one-to-one mentorship from these industry experts. So if you are stuck anywhere and if you just want to know these things from the implementation perspective or any kind of doubt, you can just have that mentorship session with those experts as well. So very amazing platform to use. Link in the description, check that out. And also they have their own amazing YouTube channel named as Project Pro, Data Science, Big Data Projects, where they used to upload amazing videos, amazing sessions, proper implementation, guided videos. So they used to post it here. So you can subscribe to their channel as well and you will get really amazing content here. So all the important links in the description, check that out and use this opportunity for sure. So guys, here is the list of these topics and I will explain each topic one by one, like what is included in it and what is expected in these topics, right? So first I'll start with the all important commands, DDL, DML, DCL, because when you start reading about the databases, or let's say you started with the basic SQL, this is the entry point, right? First you need to understand that what kind of commands you need to use while writing the SQL queries, okay? So this is the category: DDL, data definition language; DML, data manipulation language; DCL, data control language. So this is nothing like in these categories, different commands. So definition, it suggests like if let's say we want to create a table, right, in a database. So creating a table, defining it, that is related to the definition. So if you are doing any such kind of operation, let's say table create operation, alter table operation, so these are something which are somehow changing the definition of the table. So just understand these things, how to write these and how to use these commands within the DDL. and DML related to data manipulation. That means how you are going to manipulate your data. So anything which is related to the manipulation, be it the select, which is the most important one. So select, within the select command, you will be picking some columns, just doing some aggregations, doing some manipulation on top of it. Insert is also something, insert command is something which is doing kind of data manipulation, right? You are probably inserting and updating. So it is related to the data manipulation. You are manipulating it. And DCL means data control language, like kind of SQL commands which are related to the access control. I mean, giving some users the select access, whether that user can do the select operation on top of this table or not, update this table, delete this table, drop this table. These kind of operation need to know about these things, that how to write and how to use it. And next is the integrity constraint, which is the fundamental of transactional databases, like applying some integrity constraint. It can be primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, not null constraint, unique constraint, default value constraint. So you should understand that what are these constraints, how to apply, and how it can impact your operation. That's why I'm telling you, you need to know about it, because when you will be writing your SQL queries, you also need to consider these factors. So now the understanding of primary keys, foreign keys, this becomes very, very important. Why? Because this is the fundamental again. And like while writing some complex queries where you will be using more than one tables and doing the different kind of joins together, right? Joining 2-3 data sets together, and then manipulating some results within a subquery and something like that. So this understanding is very important. What is primary key, how it is being used, what is foreign key, and just try to make this habit, right? This will definitely come with a practice. Let's say somebody has given you a data set, right? You can quickly identify that someone has given these number of columns in the table. What column should I use as a primary key and what I should use as a foreign key, right? So this will come from the practice. Now where clause, this is the very important. When we will be writing the SQL queries, there could be the conditions where we need to filter the data. Where clause is something which is equivalent to the filter, right? If we have the tables, based on some conditions, we want to filter out the data, then we will be using the where clause in our SQL queries. Within the where clause, you need to also understand a couple of things. Logical operators, like logical operators means and, or, not kind of conditions. Conditional means the greater than, equality conditions, less than, equals to, how to apply that one. And also these are some important, you can say, keywords or kind of operations which can be used along with the where clause. Within the where clause, I would say like operation, just for the string matching perspective. Between is basically used for the date comparison. Let's say where some salary date between start date and end date, so kind of range of dates, is null condition with the where clause, is not null. So these are the some conditional checks you can definitely apply, and these kind of things you need to use within the where clause. This is the most important, I would say. Very, very extensive operation, very, very complex queries can be around it. Transactional database is all about the relations. Relations means tables. So there will be multiple tables, and when you need a very useful information, then definitely you need to join multiple tables together based on these primary and foreign keys, based on some logic, so that you can get that attribute and you can get those important information. So join is something you need to practice a lot. I repeat, you need to practice it a lot. Understand every type of join, its use cases, where these different type of joins will be used. So within the join, we have inner join, left join, right join, full outer join, and conditional operators in join conditions as well. Do not only think that you can just use the keys for the joining condition, right? You can also use other conditions on other columns within your join condition. So just try to understand what could be the potential use cases where you need to use these kind of different joins, right? And understand how this work, what would be the impact, how my output will look like. So if you know the different use cases for these type of joins, you will be sorted and you can quickly write the queries. So this is important. Now case when statement, this is also very, very important. So I'll just give you a very simple example. Let's say you have a student table where student name, their marks, right? These two columns are there. And now let's say your admin asks you that, can you populate one more column into this student table? If marks are, let's say, greater than and equals to 90, then A plus, like less than 90, greater than 80, then A grade, less than 80, then B plus grade, something like that. So this grading system, so you can even easily understand within your data set, you need to iterate the rows, and while iterating the rows, you need to apply this kind of if else condition. So case when is equivalent to the if else within the SQL, and it becomes more important when this is being used along with the aggregation functions within the group by. Group by, again, very, very important for the aggregation. At the end, when we talk about the data analytics and doing the data analytics, so getting the cumulative result, aggregated result is the top priority most of the time. So obviously group by is something where you just want to categorize your data set within smaller chunks and doing some summation, min, max, standard deviation, and many other aggregation related operations. So group by is also one of the statement and one of the important SQL topic which you need to understand. So within this group by, simple aggregation function, sum, min, max related, and group concat, this is also one of the functions I used and I found it really handy. And again, applying aggregation functions over case when statement, that's what I have mentioned here. So once you are comfortable with case when statement, you will be able to explore this part as well, how to use case when with the group bys. Next is the regular expressions. This is also important, right? Applying the different regular expressions on the columns which are kind of like say strings, alphanumerics, or even the other kind of columns where you can apply different kind of regular expression. So this is also one of the important, guys. This is date functions. I mean, most of the time when you'll be working on different tables, and very best example is the, let's say, e-commerce data or any kind of data where the date column is very important. Okay, then definitely you will be using multiple date functions. Let's say extracting year from a given date, extracting month from a given date, and subtracting two dates just to get the difference of days between some given two dates, right? So multiple such operations on the date column, and that's why just try to practice multiple date functions. Next is working with nulls. That means within your data sets, if you have such kind of columns which can contains the null, so how it can affect your output if you are doing the, let's say, aggregation, what kind of data you will be getting in if you are doing a joint kind of operation, how these values will be handled. Just try to understand these conceptual things around the null values, how it can be handled. Substring functions, another important topic. Let's say you have such columns which are of type string, and you just want to do some operation within the substrings of that, so you can use these kind of functions very easily. So next is coalesce function. This is also very important. Let's say just a kind of decision making. You have 3-4 columns and you want to take a kind of decision. Let's say if value in column A is null, then check the column B. If that is populated, that means assign that value of column B to some derived column X. Similarly, let's say B was null, then just check C. If C was not null, then pick that not null value and assign to the derived column some XYZ. Okay, so if you have these kind of conditional check on the columns and you want to derive some column value, right, which you think shouldn't be null, and that's why it was dependent on 3-4 columns. So coalesce function can become very handy. And then lookups and subqueries. So subqueries, I don't think so it's very hard to explain. It is like when you will be writing complex SQL queries, right? So it will be a combination of inner queries, then outer queries, then full outer queries kind of thing. So these are the subqueries, right, which you are writing first and then using its output, okay, in order to do some further computation, and then on top of it you extracted output from that derived output and doing some next level of computation. So that's why it is the subquery or subparts or inner query, you can say. And that's why this is also very important. You actually need to visualize your query very efficiently. Like if somebody gives you a very complex query, let's say very lengthy query, you should be able to identify, okay, this is the part which will work like a subquery, nested query, and that's how this lookup is being done, and that's how this output being used. Okay, so that understanding is very important. And there are some operations which can be used for the lookup perspective, right? Let's say in your outer query within the where clause there was some column and you just want to do a lookup that if value of this column somehow exists in the output of the subquery or inner query, in operation, any operation, all operation, exist operation, not exist operation. So these are the functions somehow related to the lookups. With clause also something I used very frequently. So this is nothing like within one single query, right? If you are trying to write a query and you just want to make it very clean, okay, do not want to just write everything, even the most complex sub inner queries, right, and don't want to make it very lengthy. This can be very handy. So just treat it like a method, or just treat it like a kind of keyword or mechanism in SQL to create temporary tables within the single query, or just like temporary subset of data within the single query. So just explore this with clause as well. Very important, I have used. Next is the union all intersection operations. So these are related to the set. operation if we have two data sets, and how we can actually union them together. So just treat it like the mathematics. We had two sets, right? If we do the union, then values from this set and values from this set will be combined together, duplicates will be removed. There could be condition where duplicates can be contained together, intersection like just fetching the common value. So these operations can be done. This is the very important window functions. I was just waiting to come on to this topic, but obviously maintaining the sequence is also important. Like I cannot ask somebody directly jump onto the window function and start practicing SQL. So that's why window function, like from the analytics perspective, and trust me, if you are going through with a very good interview process, right, then if an interviewer asked 4 SQL questions, I can guarantee 2 will be from these window functions, and it won't be very straightforward that interviewer will tell that this is the query, can you please solve it using the window functions. No, you need to understand that how you can apply the window functions and how you can effectively write this query. And window function, I guess, has solved so many complex analytical problems. Okay, and if you are writing some analytical queries, I think this is very widely used. Like 99.999% of cases you will be using it. So just focus on it a lot. Window functions, very important. Again, I repeat, very important. And even I have mentioned some of the important things or some of the important functions within the window functions you need to focus. So first, the syntax, like how to write the window functions, and for that you need to focus on the over clause. Within the over clause, how to include the partition by, how to use the order by. And these are the list of important things within the window function. These are actually the functions, like using the row number function, rank function, dense rank function, understanding the difference between these three, like when to use, where to use, why to use any of them. Then aggregation related functions on that window: sum, count, min, max, average, standard deviation, lag function, lead function, first value function, last value function, nth value function, n-tile function. This is also very important, and I think sometimes people just miss it, and that can be because of they don't know about these things much and they haven't explored it. So row between frame clause and range between frame clause, I found these two things very important. So I can just explain one thing. Let's say somebody is asking you a question related to the running sum, and running sum, let's say for last week, last month, right, last 4 days, last 5 days. Then I'm just giving you this hint that this range between frame clause and row between frame clause will make your life super easy, right? So just try to explore these two things. I found it really helpful, and trust me, in most of the interviews there were questions related to running sum, running averages for week, past week, some past consecutive days, and these two things helped me a lot. Next and last thing, the pivot tables. Pivot table is nothing. Let's say we given you some tables, right? How to just inverting it. So inverting it, let's say in the input table there was a column, let's say country, and within the country column there were different values, let's say India, Australia, USA, Malaysia, these things. Now there could be a use case that you need to just reflect or invert your table in such a way that now those distinct values within the country column will become the column itself. Let's say India will be one column, USA will be one column, and Malaysia will be one column, Australia will be one column, right? So this pivot table concept is related to that. When you will search this concept over the Google, definitely you will find some meaningful concepts about it. Whatever I have included, that is again based on my experience, what I have used, what I have experienced so far, and that's why I'm recommending. If you think something is important and not included here, mention it in the comment section. And also, if you still feel that you need more information, like I need to break down every topic in a more granular level, right, then also do let me know in the comment section. I will make a part 2, part 3, until unless you are satisfied that now you are really confident with this SQL. And again, I would request like this video so that it can reach to maximum number of people and we can help the data community together. And if you're new to my channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.